What's going on, everyone? We are back with another video, and for today's video we are basically going to see what happens if we returned players back to their prime. So we're not returning all players to their prime, or we're basically returning whichever players who have like another version of themselves in 2K to their prime. So I can't name a guy in his prime off the top of my head. But like if there was just a better version of, say, Seth Curry, if there was like an 82 overall version of him, there isn't actually one into, even if there's not one in 2K, then I can't do anything. Like last year or 2 years ago, I feel like Seth Curry was like an 81 or an 82. Can't do anything about that because he's not on any of the all-time teams or anything, so can't do anything about that. So we basically just returned the significant players into the prime. So we'll start off with the 76ers. Obviously, you guys are going to know Dwight Howard returning to his prime. Joel Embiid will now be playing power forward, and that's going to be pretty disgusting. For the Bucks, we got Brook Lopez. Forgot to do Drew Holiday, but his would have only been one overall difference. I didn't really care too much about that. If anybody was like a one overall difference, two overall depending on who it was. Wasn't that important. But Brook Lopez obviously was a huge upgrade. I think like a 5 or 6 overall difference. For the Bulls, you guys have nobody. You guys have a very young team, so nobody's like past their prime yet. For the Cavs, we got Kevin Love. This was one of the biggest upgrades, 81 or an 82 overall, up to a 92. Cavs always perform pretty well in 2K2, so y'all should be pretty nice. For the Celtics, only upgrade here was Kemba Walker. I didn't really see any other upgrade. I tried to look for Jeff T because I felt like I know previously in 2K he's been like an 80, 81 overall, but there wasn't another version of him in 2K, so couldn't do anything about him. So yeah, not a significant upgrade, but you know what? An upgrade nonetheless. Other teams didn't get any. Clippers, only real upgrade here was Paul George, I believe, up to the 93 overall. Indiana Pacers version, and yeah, there wasn't any other upgrades. We got the Grizzlies here. Y'all didn't have an upgrade. For the majority of you guys of them are young. Valanciunas, I looked for him. I felt like he may have had like an 83 overall, 84 overall, but no, his all-time Raptor is also an 81 overall, so nothing significant there. For the Hawks, y'all had a very nice upgrade in Rondo, now playing shooting guard. I feel like that's going to be weird, but whatever. Still fine. Obviously, a great playmaker, great defender. It's going to help the team out a lot. I think this team's going to be absolutely disgusting for how good this team already performs, like similar to the Cavs, where I feel like they outperform their real selves in 2K. But he had some of the best upgrades. Nothing like insane, besides like Iggy. He's like like a 75 overall, and he's now an 88. But Goran Dragic was a nice upgrade from an 81 to an 85, and then Udonis Haslem also up from like a low to mid 70s, I don't really know, to 84. So that honestly strengthened this team so well. I expect them to be really, really good. One of the best teams in the East for sure. For the Hornets, nothing insane, just Gordon Hayward. Again, kind of a young team, so not too many upgrades. And if something was like a 75 and there's like a 78 version of him somewhere, I'm not going to care about that, okay? So, shut the fuck up. For the Jazz, we got Prime Mike Conley. Really nice. But y'all are kind of lacking right there, so it is what it is. But obviously a very nice upgrade. For the Kings, only upgrade was Hassan Whiteside from an 81 overall to an 84. I think that's the Miami Heat version. So nothing insane for this team. Knicks didn't have anybody. Like I wasn't looking to see if there was an 78 overall version of Austin Rivers, like I said. So overall, just there was nobody. For the Lakers, y'all had again one of the better upgrades in Marc Gasol. He is like a 79, 80 overall, but a 93 overall just makes it so dominant, especially with like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and him. I mean, there's very little weaknesses with this team. For the Magic, you guys didn't have anybody. For the Mavericks, you guys didn't have anybody. Yeah, there's no one really significant on the team to like past their prime. For the Nets, you guys had DeAndre Jordan, 87 overall. I think that's going to be really nice for the team. Yes, strengthens that center position a lot. You guys should be really good. For the Nuggets, we got, I think, Paul Millsap. That is such a good upgrade. I didn't realize he was an 80. He had an 87 overall. I thought it was gonna be like an 85, 86 overall maybe, but more around that 85 mark. But an 87 overall really helped this team a lot. The Pacers, we got Victor Oladipo, 88 overall, from like 3 years ago, I want to say. I don't know if it was the year he was... Yeah, because he was traded in the offseason. So, yeah, that first year in Indiana, I believe, was, his really good year, 23, 5, and 4. Led the Pacers to 7 games against the Cavs and almost beat them, man. And there was some controversy in that series, and Pacers almost beat them, man. But overall, this is such a good starting lineup. For the Pelicans, nothing insane. Only upgrade, I believe, was J.J. Redick up to an 83 overall. So, add some depth to the team. But yeah, nothing insane. You guys are a really young team, too. Pistons had 2 of the best upgrades. Derrick Rose up from, like... Is he an 81 overall? I forget. I think he's an 81 overall, but up to a 96 overall. I think this might be the highest overall player that was changed. Unless I'm forgetting. Yeah, Dwight Howard was only a 93. Marc Gasol also a 93. So I think this was definitely the biggest upgrade. And Russell Westbrook, obviously, but he was already an 88 overall, so that's not super significant. But Blake Griffin also up like 8 or 9 overall, so really nice. Again, this team sucks though, so it's like whatever. But hopefully the Pistons might be kind of good in this sim with 2 like superstar quality players. Raptors, you guys didn't have anything too significant. Kyle Lowry up from an 86, I think, to an 89, and then Pascal up from an 84 to an 86. And that's it for you guys. For the Rockets, they also had 2 of the best upgrades. John Wall up to a 90 overall, DeMarcus Cousins up to a 90 overall, and Eric Gordon up to an 84 overall. That really helps with the depth of this team because y'all were slacking. You guys have Christian Wood coming off the bench. I don't really care. I thought it was weird, but it's whatever. Spurs had a couple nice upgrades. DeMar DeRozan, up to an 89 overall. I think it was like an 86, so that's kind of nice. Rudy Gay was a nice upgrade up to an 83, and then LaMarcus Aldridge up to an 89. Those were all really solid upgrades. And really strengthens the team a lot. Suns, only 1 upgrade, and this is actually a big upgrade. Chris Paul up to a 97 overall. Outside of that, the majority of this team is young. Again, Jay Crowder may have had a 79 overall. I don't know. I don't care. A 7 like that's not really important. But yeah, other than that, those super significant players. Thunder, you got Al Horford. That's it. Al Horford up to an 85 overall is now the highest overall on the team. And that's about it. For the Timberwolves, we got D'Angelo Russell. This is the Nets all-time version, what was that, 2 seasons ago now? I think that was 2 seasons ago. Went absolutely off, led them to the playoffs. Absolutely crazy. Y'all also get a prime Ricky Rubio all-time Minnesota Timberwolves version up to an 85 overall. It's a shame that you guys have Anthony Edwards and Malik Beasley. Well, the thing is, I can move Malik Beasley to the small forward position because I think he goes up to like an 80 or an 81 overall. Then move D'Lo to the shooting guard, but then you guys don't have a backup point guard, so I can't really do that. Trailblazers, they had a very significant upgrade. Carmelo Anthony, 95 overall. Really, really, really nice, but the depth of this team is kind of, depth of the team isn't bad still. For the Warriors, I wasn't going to worry about, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Steph's all-time version is just a 96, I think. Maybe a 97? I thought it was a 96. And then Klay Thompson was a 91, so not like significant upgrades, but Draymond Green was the significant upgrade. He's like a 10 overalls better now, something like that, 10, 11 overalls better. Very significant upgrade for him, nothing else. And then the Wizards, we got Russell Westbrook up to a 95, prime MVP form. And yeah, that's it. As far as my top 2 teams, Lakers are right there with Marc Gasol. I think Nets are good. I feel like there was one. Yeah, the Heat. The Heat I expect to do really well too. So yeah, let's just see what happens. All right, so the 76ers had a rough start, but they ended up 53-29, so definitely one of the better teams in the league. Anything surprising here? No. Frank Vogel, 63-19, as expected. All NBA first team, Chris Paul. Looks like he was the only addition. Russell Westbrook on the second team, Carmelo on the second team, and Dwight Howard on the second team. And then on the third team, we got Blake Griffin and Kevin Love. Okay. Defensive teams, Chris Paul, Rondo, and Howard are all on that. And then we got Westbrook and DeAndre Jordan. So, there's a lot of new faces. As far as the standings, anything surprising me in the playoffs? Portland doesn't surprise me. Houston doesn't surprise me. Golden State, that's actually, Pelicans, they always perform really well. Clippers, yeah. Minnesota, actually better than I thought they'd be. And then Sacramento also. The addition of Whiteside, okay. Then in the Eastern Conference, we got Milwaukee, Atlanta. I thought Atlanta would actually be better than an 8th seed for sure. Philly, yeah, big men. Boston kind of dropped. I feel like they're usually like a 3rd seed, maybe even a 2nd seed. I don't normally see them as 5th seeds, but yeah, only having Kemba, I could definitely see that dropping, especially with the 4 teams above them. I expected that to happen. Brooklyn, yeah, expected them up there. Cleveland, yes. Miami, and then Toronto. I definitely thought the Hawks were better than the Raptors, but maybe I'm just capping. It was actually a close race for the top 5 people, and they kind of dipped a little bit there. You know what? Pistons actually didn't perform terribly. This is way better than they normally perform. I'm sorry, Bulls fans. Anything surprising in here? No. Wizards, Hornets, Knicks, Bulls all didn't have great upgrades. I am a little bit surprised about the Pacers. I mean, I could see that they didn't make the playoffs, but being as bad as they were, I thought they were definitely, better than the Magic. But as far as the West is concerned, we know what that looks like. As far as people who didn't make the playoffs, I'm a little bit surprised with the Nuggets. A little bit surprised with the Mavericks with how much 2K loves Luka. Spurs, Suns, Jazz, yeah, kind of surprised. I'm actually surprised that the Kings and the Timberwolves had that much of a jump over teams like the Nuggets, Mavericks, and Jazz, but it is what it is. As far as we'll look at league leaders, Luka, Giannis, Jason Tatum, Carmelo is the first guy it looks like that we changed at 28, Dwight Howard at 28, and then no one else. As far as rebounds, we should see Hassan Whiteside somewhere up here. We got Dwight Howard way up here. Kevin Love way up there. DeMarcus Cousins way up there. Wow. I was surprised. Hassan Whiteside's not even close. As far as Cisco, we got Chris Paul. Oh, my gosh. Let's go. We got Rondo killing it. We got John Wall killing it. Russell Westbrook killing it. Mike Conley, Ricky Rubio, all killing it. So, yeah. We'll simulate the playoffs, see what happens here, or we'll simulate round by round. No upsets besides the Hawks over the Milwaukee Bucks, but I did say that I thought the Hawks were better than an 8th seed. I did think they were definitely better than Toronto. I kind of Kevin Love versus the addition of Rondo. I feel like the Hawks should have been better for sure. I think they should have been a 6th. Definitely better than Toronto. I'm not so sure about Cleveland. But yeah, yeah. So that was the only upset. So let's simulate this round and see what happens. Philly makes it through. Brooklyn makes it through. All right. And 7 games, so I did expect Miami and Brooklyn to be fairly close. Then we got Houston dominating Portland and Lakers just dominating in the West. Oh my God. Let's see what happens here. Simulate round. And we got the Lakers and the Nets, bro. If this could be the finals this year, I would absolutely love that. KD versus LeBron again. But, not where KD was super young and had a super young team, and not where KD had a super team. LeBron had a super team in Miami, too. I just want to point that out. But, I don't think either teams are really super teams right now. I think fairly even. I would say pretty even, the teams. So I think this would be the best finals between the two. So I would be super interested in that, especially with Kyrie versus LeBron too. But let's see what happens here. And 2K has the Nets winning with Kyrie Irving getting Finals MVP at 25 and 10.5 on pretty trash shooting. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to look at the final stats, but as far as the final game, Spencer Dinwiddie dominated. Kyrie Irving had a bad game. Anthony Davis had a really good game. LeBron didn't have a great game, but didn't have a terrible game. But definitely not as bad as Kyrie had. KD down there didn't have a great game either. Should have shot the ball more. But both him and LeBron did good on the defensive end. So I do want to look at playoff stats real fast. Can we go just the finals? I want to see what they looked like in the finals. Kyrie, then LeBron, Anthony Davis, Dennis Schroeder, and then KD at 19, bro. I mean, if we look at the shots taken, Kyrie at 20, while KD's only taking 13, man. What is happening? But anyway, there you guys go. That's what would happen if we returned, all the players back to their prime. Obviously, the significant players or the significant upgrades back to their prime. Maybe it'd be a little different if we had prime LeBron, but, current LeBron is basically better than prime of anybody else ever, besides, like, a handful of people. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.